The silent guardian, the void around Earth, burned with the fire of 1,000 dying stars. Captain Alina Vasquez gripped the command chair of the UES. Defiance as another wave of Dominion warships tore through the outer defensive line. The bridge shook violently as plasma bolts hammered their shields, warning lights casting everything in an ominous red glow. Shield integrity down to 30%. Lieutenant Torres shouted over the chaos. Portside batteries are offline. Elena's dark eyes swept across the tactical display. Red dots swarmed like angry wasps around the blue markers representing Earth's defense fleet. They were outnumbered 50-1, and the enemy kept coming. The Dominion had arrived 3 days ago with a fleet so massive it blotted out the stars. Their ships were sleek, organic-looking things that seemed to pulse with malevolent life. Admiral Chun's squadron is falling back to Lunar Base, Communications Officer Park reported, his voice tight with barely controlled panic. They've lost 60% of their ships. Alina closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of 6 billion lives pressing down on her shoulders. As the senior fleet commander, she'd known this day might come. Humanity had been reaching for the stars for decades, but they'd always known they might not be alone out there. They just hadn't expected their neighbors to be so hostile. "Ma'am, we're receiving a priority transmission from Fleet Command," Park said. "Put it through," Alina ordered. Admiral Richardson's weathered face appeared on the main screen, his uniform torn and bloodied. Behind him, the command center of Lunar Base was in chaos. "Alina, we've lost contact with the Mars colonies. The Dominion's moving to encircle Earth completely. I'm ordering all remaining ships to fall back to the moon." "Sir, with respect, if we retreat now, Earth is defenseless," Alina protested. Richardson's expression was grim. "We've done everything we can. Our weapons barely scratch their holes, and their technology is centuries ahead of ours. We need to preserve what forces we have left." Alina looked at her crew. They were young, most of them barely out of the academy, but their faces showed the same determination she felt burning in her chest. "Understood, sir. But the Defiance won't be retreating. We'll hold the line as long as we can." The Admiral's face softened slightly. "I know you will, Captain. Good luck." The transmission ended, leaving Alina alone with her thoughts and the sound of distant explosions. She stood up, straightening her uniform. "All hands, this is the captain. We've been ordered to retreat, but I'm giving you all a choice. We can fall back to Lunar Base, or we can stay here and show these aliens what humans are made of. It's your decision." The bridge fell silent, except for the hum of life support systems. Then, one by one, her crew turned to face her. Lieutenant Torres was the first to speak. "We're with you, Captain, all the way." A chorus of agreement rose from the bridge crew. Alina felt pride swell in her chest. This was humanity at its best, standing together in the face of impossible odds. "Then let's show them what we're capable of," she said. "Helm, take us into the thick of it. Weapons, target their lead destroyer. We're going to make every shot count." The Defiance surged forward, her engines burning bright against the star-filled void. Around them, the Dominion ships moved with predatory grace, their weapons charging for another devastating volley. Alina watched the tactical display, calculating odds and angles, looking for any weakness she could exploit. That's when her sensor officer, Ensign Kim, looked up with confusion written across her face. "Captain, I'm detecting something strange. There's an energy signature coming from beyond Neptune's orbit. It's massive." Alina frowned. Can you identify it? Negative, Mum. It's unlike anything in our databases. The energy pattern is completely foreign. Before Alina could respond, the space around them shimmered like heat waves rising from hot asphalt. The Dominion ships suddenly stopped their advance, their formation wavering as if something had spooked them. Their weapons powered down, and an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. "What the hell?" Torres muttered. The shimmer intensified. And then, as if reality itself was tearing apart, a ship materialized from nothingness. It was enormous, easily twice the size of the largest Dominion vessel, but its design was unlike anything Alina had ever seen. The hull seemed to be made of some dark, crystalline material that pulsed with internal light. Organic curves blended seamlessly with mechanical components, creating something that was both beautiful and terrifying. "My God," Kim whispered. "Where did that come from?" The unknown ship hung motionless in space for several long moments. Then, slowly, it began to move toward the Dominion fleet. Its passage was completely silent, but Alina could feel power radiating from it like heat from a forge. The Dominion ships scattered like startled fish, their formation breaking apart as they tried to put distance between themselves and the newcomer. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Park reported, his voice filled with awe. "From the Dominion?" Alina asked. "No, ma'am. From the unknown vessel." Alina felt her heart skip a beat. "Put it through." The main screen flickered, and a face appeared that made Alina's breath catch in her throat. It was human, but changed somehow. The man's skin had a slight luminescent quality, and his eyes held depths that seemed to reflect the cosmos itself. His uniform was unlike anything in the Earth's fleet, made of the same crystalline material as his ship. "Earth vessel, this is Captain Marcus Chen of the Prometheus. I apologize for the dramatic entrance, but circumstances required it." Alina stared at the screen in shock. "Captain, that's impossible. You're human." Chen smiled, but it was a sad expression. "I was human, Captain Vasquez. My crew and I were part of the deep space exploration mission launched 15 years ago. We were supposed to map the outer systems and establish early warning stations. Instead, we found something that changed everything. The Titan Project." Alina breathed. She remembered the mission. It had been classified, but rumors had circulated through the fleet. A dozen ships had vanished beyond the outer planets, presumed lost to equipment failure or hostile encounters. "That's right," Chen confirmed. "We encountered the Dominion long before they reached Earth. They destroyed most of our fleet, but my ship... We managed to escape into a region of space where reality works differently. We found the remnants of an ancient civilization, one that had faced the Dominion and found a way to fight back." Alina leaned forward. "What happened to you?" Chen's expression grew distant. "We made a choice. To survive, to gain the power to protect Earth, we had to become something more than human. The ancient technology we found, it integrated with our bodies, our ship, our very souls. We became a bridge between organic and mechanical, between human and something greater. And now you're here to help us?" Alina asked, hope beginning to bloom in her chest. "We've been watching, waiting for the right moment. The Dominion is powerful, but they have weaknesses. Their hive mind makes them predictable, and their technology relies on biological integration. We've learned how to disrupt their systems." The Prometheus began to move again, gliding toward the Dominion fleet with impossible grace. As it approached, the alien ships opened fire, their weapons creating brilliant streaks of light across the void. But the beams seemed to bend around the Prometheus, as if the ship existed in a different dimension. "How is that possible?" Torres asked. Chen heard the question and smiled. "Phase technology. We exist partially outside normal space-time. Their weapons can't lock onto us." Alina watched in amazement as the Prometheus reached the Dominion line. The alien ships converged on it from all sides, their weapons firing continuously. But the mysterious vessel moved through their attacks like a ghost, completely unharmed. Then, with a flash of brilliant light, the Prometheus fired its own weapons. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Dominion ships simply stopped functioning. Their organic hulls went dark, their weapons powered down, and they began to drift helplessly through space like dead whales. "Captain Chen, what did you do to them?" Alina asked. "We disrupted their neural networks," Chen explained. "The Dominion ships are living creatures, modified for war. By targeting their biological components with precise electromagnetic pulses, we can essentially give them a stroke." Alina felt a surge of hope. "Can you teach us how to do that?" "With time, yes. But right now, we have a more immediate problem. The Dominion mothership is moving toward Earth. It's been hanging back, coordinating the attack from a distance. That's where their command structure is located." Alina looked at her tactical display. Sure enough, a massive energy signature was approaching from the outer system. It was easily 10 times larger than any ship they'd encountered so far. "How do we stop something that big?" she asked. Chen's expression grew serious. "We're going to need to work together. Your fleet may not have our technology, but you have something we lost long ago. The pure human spirit. The Dominion fears that more than any weapon." Alina felt a fire ignite in her chest. "What do you need us to do?" "Form up on our position. We're going to punch through their defenses and take the fight directly to their command ship. But I won't lie to you, Captain. This is going to be the most dangerous mission any of us has ever attempted." Alina looked around her bridge at the faces of her crew. She saw fear there, but also determination. They were ready to follow her into hell itself if it meant protecting Earth. "All ships, this is Captain Vasquez," she announced over the fleet. "Communication channel. We have a new ally, and we have a plan. Form up on the Prometheus. We're going to show these aliens what happens when you mess with humanity." The response was immediate. Ships that had been retreating turned around and began moving toward the Prometheus. The sight of their crystalline ally had given the human fleet new hope, new purpose. As Alina watched her ships take formation around the mysterious vessel, she felt something she hadn't experienced in days. Confidence. They were still outnumbered, still outgunned, but they were no longer alone. And sometimes, that made all the difference. "Ready when you are, Captain Chen," she said. Chen's luminescent eyes met hers through the screen. "Then let's go save your world." Asterisk the turning tide, the Dominion mothership loomed before them like a living mountain, its surface covered in what looked like breathing flesh and pulsing veins. Captain Elena Vasquez had seen many things in her years of service, but nothing had prepared her for the sight of this abomination. It was less a ship than a creature, a vast organism designed for one purpose, the complete destruction of human civilization. "Dear God," Lieutenant Torres whispered from his position at the weapons. "Console, how do we fight something like that?" Captain Chen's voice crackled through the communications channel from the Prometheus. "Don't let its appearance fool you, Captain Vasquez. It's still a ship, still bound by the laws of physics. But it's also the heart of the Dominion hive mind. Destroy it, and their entire fleet becomes paralyzed. Alina studied the tactical display. The mothership was surrounded by a defensive screen of smaller vessels, each one the size of a human cruiser. Energy readings showed weapon systems that could vaporize continents. But she also noticed something else: patterns in the ships, movement that suggested vulnerabilities. "Chen, I'm seeing what looks like exhaust ports along the ship's lower hull. Could those be weak points?" "Excellent observation," Chen replied. "Those are the binaural interfaces that connect the ship to its subsidiary vessels. If we can disrupt them, we can cut off the mothership's ability to coordinate its fleet." Alina felt a plan forming in her mind. What if we split our forces? Half of us create a distraction while the other half targets those interface points. Risky, but it could work. My crew has been analyzing Dominion technology for 15 years. We can provide you with the specific frequencies needed to disrupt their systems. Alina looked at her communications officer. "Park, patch me through to all ships. Channel open, Captain. All vessels, this is Vasquez. We're going to divide into 2 groups. Alpha Group will follow me in a direct assault on the mothership's forward sections. Beta Group will follow the Prometheus in a flanking maneuver to target the binaural interfaces. This is our one chance to save Earth. Make it count." The human fleet split apart like a school of fish, each group moving with desperate purpose. Alina led her ships directly toward the mothership's massive bulk, drawing fire from its defensive systems. Plasma bolts the size of buildings streaked past the Defiance, some coming close enough to overwhelm their shields. "Shields down to 20%, Torres reported. "We can't take many more hits like that. Hold course," Alina ordered. "We need to give Chun's group time to reach those interface points." Behind them, the Prometheus led its assigned ships in a wide arc around the mothership's flank. The mysterious vessel seemed to bend light around itself, making it difficult for the Dominion weapons to lock on. Alina watched in fascination as the hybrid ship danced between enemy fire, its movements more like a living creature than a machine. Captain Ensign Kim called out from her sensor station, "I'm detecting something strange about the Prometheus. The energy readings are off the charts, but they're not coming from any technology I recognize." Alina frowned. "What do you mean?" "It's like the ship is powered by something organic. The energy patterns are similar to brainwaves, but magnified thousands of times." Before Alina could respond, Chun's voice came through the speakers again. "Captain Vasquez, I need to tell you something about my crew and our ship. The transformation we underwent... It wasn't just physical. We became part of the Prometheus, connected to it in ways that go beyond mere technology." Alina felt a chill run down her spine. "What are you saying?" "We merged our consciousness with the ship's systems. We became something new, something that bridges the gap between human and machine. It's the only way we could match the Dominion's biotechnology." On the screen, Alina could see the Prometheus approaching the first interface point. The ship's hull began to glow with an inner light, and she could swear she saw faces in the crystalline structure, Chen and his crew, preserved forever in their hybrid state. "My God, Chen, what did you sacrifice?" "Everything," Chen replied simply. "But it was worth it to protect humanity. Now watch and learn, Captain. This is how we fight the Dominion." The Prometheus extended what looked like tendrils of pure energy toward the interface point. When they made contact, the effect was immediate and spectacular. The entire section of the mothership convulsed, as if in pain, its binaural networks overloading in cascades of sparks and strange fluids. "It's working," Torres shouted. The defensive screen is weakening. Alina seized the opportunity. All ships, concentrate fire on the disrupted sections. Hit them with everything we have. The human fleet unleashed a barrage of missiles and energy weapons. For the first time in the battle, their attacks seemed to have a real effect on the Dominion. Chunks of organic armor peeled away, revealing vulnerable internal structures. But the mothership wasn't finished. It began to change, its hull shifting and reconfiguring. New weapon ports opened along its sides, and Alina realized with horror that it was preparing to fire directly at Earth. "Chen, we need to stop it now," she shouted. "I know," Chen replied, his voice strained. "But to do this, we'll need to make the ultimate sacrifice. The Prometheus will have to merge completely with the mothership's systems. We'll be able to shut it down from the inside, but you won't survive," Alina finished. "No, but humanity will. That's what matters." Alina felt tears welling up in her eyes. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Chen said firmly. "Captain, I need you to listen carefully. Once we begin the merge, the mothership will lose all control, but it will also begin to self-destruct. You'll have maybe 10 minutes to get your fleet to safety." Alina looked round her bridge at the faces of her crew. They were listening to every word, understanding the magnitude of Chun's sacrifice. "Chen, on behalf of all humanity, thank you. Thank you for reminding us what we were fighting for," Chen replied. "Now get ready. This is going to be spectacular." The Prometheus began to change, its crystalline hull becoming transparent. Alina could see Chen and his crew inside, their bodies glowing with the same inner light as their ship. They looked peaceful, almost serene, as they prepared to give their lives for Earth. The hybrid ship approached the mothership's core, its tendrils of energy reaching out to make contact with the alien vessel's central nervous system. The moment they touched, both ships began to glow with an intense light that made the bridge's view screen automatically darken. "What's happening?" Torres asked. Alina watched in awe as the two ships began to merge, their energies intertwining in patterns that hurt to look at directly. The mothership's hull began to ripple and change, its organic components writhing as foreign code flooded its systems. Chun's crew is taking control, she realized. They're using their human consciousness to overwrite the Dominion's hive mind. The process was violent and chaotic. The mothership's weapons stopped firing, its defensive systems shut down, and its subsidiary vessels began to drift aimlessly through space. But Alina could see that the merge was taking its toll on the Prometheus as well. The crystalline ship was beginning to crack, its internal light flickering. "All ships, this is Vasquez," Alina announced. "Prepare for emergency retreat. Maximum burn in 60 seconds. Chen's voice came through the speakers one last time, distorted and fading. "Captain, ... tell them. Tell them we remembered what it means ... to be human ... The light from the merged ships suddenly intensified, becoming so bright that it overwhelmed all senses. Alina felt the Defiance's engines kick in, pushing the ship away from the mothership at maximum acceleration. Behind them, the Dominion fleet was in chaos, their ships drifting without guidance from their command vessel. "Distance?" Alina asked. 50,000 kilometers and climbing, Torres reported. "Is it enough? We're about to find out." The explosion, when it came, was unlike anything Alina had ever witnessed. It wasn't just light and energy, it was something deeper, something that touched the very fabric of space and time. The mothership simply came apart, its massive bulk dissolving into streams of energy that painted the void in impossible colors. The shockwave hit the human fleet like a giant hand, sending ships tumbling through space. But they were far enough, away to survive, their hulls holding against the cosmic winds that Chun's sacrifice had unleashed. As the light faded, Alina looked at her tactical display. The Dominion fleet was gone, either destroyed in the explosion or drifting helplessly without their command ship. Earth was safe. "Captain Ensign," Kim said quietly, "I'm detecting something in the debris field. It looks like ... a message." Alina straightened. "Put it through." The main screen shimmered, and for a moment she could swear she saw Chun's face in the static. His voice was faint, but unmistakable. "The stars are calling, Captain. Don't let humanity stop reaching for them." Then the signal faded, leaving only the gentle hum of the ship's systems. Alina stood in the sudden silence, feeling the weight of what had just happened. They had won, but at a cost that would never be forgotten. "Take us home," she said finally. "We have a lot of work to do." As the Defiance turned toward Earth, Alina couldn't help but look back at the debris field where the Prometheus had made its last stand. Somewhere in that cosmic graveyard, Chen and his crew had found a way to remain human even after they'd become something more. They had shown that no matter how far humanity reached into the stars, no matter what changes they might undergo, the core of what made them human would always endure. It was a lesson that would echo through the ages as humanity finally took its place among the stars. No longer alone, but stronger for the knowledge that they could face any challenge as long as they remembered what it meant to be human. The war was over, but the real adventure was just beginning.